but it was like, oh, it's going to end at like 2 minutes after 8. So,
Well, was it a fun and exciting show?
well, I don't know if it was fun. I mean, a guy getting kidnapped out of his time and space continuum and swapped with another version of himself from another space time continuum. He wasn't very happy about it.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, the guy, the guy who got it done to him, not the guy who did it, because of course the guy who did it, it was his whole cunning plan.
There you go.
All right, we are joining up now, and I'm going to move things to the correct windows so I can see what's going on.
Always helpful.
Yeah, I've got a workstation here that I use my work laptop on,
Right.
and it's got two monitors. So I'm usually, when I'm standing here, I'm looking at the monitor of the laptop itself plus two additional monitors. But my personal laptop only will drive one external monitor.
Oh,
And it's apparently a random number generator that decides which of the two that gets selected in any given time. Because now I'm apparently going to be over on the left today. All right, so
I
that's what I'm
see.
going to
So
do.
you will wake up tomorrow morning with a crick in your neck for having
That's
looked
right.
that
Now we'll have to
way.
wait an entire week to get the crick undone if
Yeah,
it randomly picks up on the other side.
uncricked indeed. So,
Uncricked. What? What? What are you doing?
Mom and I are going to Dairy Queen.
Oh my goodness, that's
Do you
dreadful.
want anything?
What would I want?
Like an ice cream cone?
bribing you with ice cream cones, Michael?
That's exactly what she's doing. No, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
Okay. No, I mean, a dip cone doesn't travel very well, so I'm not really going to go for that. Thank you,
Would you
though.
like a blizzard?
No, no, thank you. I
All
don't know.
right.
I
We've got
don't
some
know.
people back visiting here. We've got Mr. William Arends from Kitchener, Ontario, sending his
Mm,
regards. We've got
greetings.
a Cohen Gillis back at it again. Watching these has convinced me to buy Zorndorf,
There you
expecting
go. I
it
saw
next
one.
Wednesday. There you go.
Excellent. Excellent. Zorndorf's a lot of fun.
Well, I thought that might be the next one on our queue here, if we're kind of going
Oh,
historically, right? We did
oh,
Prague, then we're doing this.
okay.
I don't know what's after that. Would it be Luthen or would it be Zorndorf?
Well, actually, we've missed Lobositz because that would have been before Prague.
Oh, yeah, true. But would that have
But
traveled well as a three-person
nah,
game?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? That's the only game I haven't played.
Okay.
Actually, that's not exactly true because I haven't played Germantown either. But of the 7 Years War
Right.
games, I that's the only one I haven't played. And I mean, it's smaller. Just the board is smaller. I don't really know about the size of the armies, but yeah, it probably would not be the obvious choice for a multiplayer game. But yeah, you're right. So let's see. I think Luthen is the upcoming winter.
Yes, I think it is winter
I
of
think
1757.
I think Zorndorf is the next year. I think
Okay.
so. But I don't know that we need to really be held by doing this in order. These two are pretty close cousins since they were from the same campaign, after all.
Yes.
But anyway, all right. Is David here?
He is. He and Rick were chatting. I
Oh,
think they're down in game room
oh,
one. We're doing a
ah,
Moscow game starting tomorrow evening. And so David and Rick and
yes.
my friend Robert are on the French side of the map, and
Uh-huh.
then Brennan and Mitch and myself are on the Russian side of the map.
So
So
they were
they were having a
they were
powwow.
attempting attempting to
A short powwow.
That's
to
right.
conspire against you.
Yes.
I just had to remind him I'm not good on defense. That's all.
You're the French. Why would you be on the defense?
Well,
There you go.
every once in a while I get this, maybe I'll try what defense looks like. It never works out.
Okay.
All right.
Old guard on defense? Come on, that'd be great.
All right. Well, let's see here. Okay. Mitch sent his final setup stuff for the Russian. Oh, so we got the Russian setup. So I will email the file to the French team. So I know it's late, but I know we were trying to get it done earlier. So I'll send that out tonight after this game is over.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
All right.
here
And so
we
we
must
are
be
partway
pretty
through the 5
early.
o'clock turn. Yep.
pretty early on the 5 o'clock turn. We got a little bit going on, but not too much.
Yeah.
So I guess I will do the customary Chuck O' the dice.
As the senior bar player, yes, I suppose so.
Oh my. It's terrifying. All right, here we go. Where's the 0? That's not a 0.
Why
That's
were you
an
hoping for a
Austrian
0?
activation. Oh, just because that's what I usually do.
Oh, that is true. That is true. I'm
Yeah.
sure I will make up for it somehow.
Okay.
Let's see here. Well, that's an Austrian activation.
It is.
And it's not enough for it to be a wing activation, but that's okay anyway. I'm going to go ahead and activate Starenberg, who is here. So that's basically from this part of the line all the way down to this part of the line.
All right.
And I will fire this gun. And yeah, at least that gun. I don't know that I'm going to shoot the others yet. I'm going to wait for you to get a little closer before I go boom boom on them. So, yep. So I got this guy. So he's going to fire over here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 pounders at 4 hexes is times 5. So it's going to be 10 to 10. So it's going to be a 1-to-1 shot.
Do you have any disorders first before you do your firing?
Not with this command. I don't believe so.
I bet that command does not.
Yep, they haven't suffered any losses yet. And I say the word yet
I
intentionally.
like how you say that. All right, so it's 1-to-1 plus 10.
Yep, here we go. And that's going to be a
Just
59. I
missed.
don't think that did it. So we'll mark them as finished. And what we're going to do is then we're going to just advance this hex here like that. And this guy we're going to take out of right hook. And this guy we're going to put into right hook, if that makes sense. And this guy we're going to advance. All right. I think that kind of gets us in some semblance of order for the impending attack of the evil Prussians. So.
Oh, no, the evil Prussians are back at pro. These are the good guys.
These are the good guys, okay. They wear white hats and they ride a
Mm,
horse named
some.
Silver.
Some, yes.
Okay. All right. And let's see here.
Well, that was easy.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, everyone's in command. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Everyone's good. So, yep, that's it. We'll flip him over.
Perfect. It's your turn to roll.
Here we go. Oh, that's one for you guys.
That's more like it. All right.
We've got a +1 advantage, right?
Yes, you do. So you only have the +1 since you used 2 for trying to help out your army morale.
Right. Army around.
And I used 1, so I'm at 2 for army morale, and you guys are at no. I mean, I have 2 command points, so I can't go any lower than that. But you still have
Right. We have 3.
3.
So it's
Yeah,
plus
so it's a
1.
+1
Yeah.
net.
Okay. All right. Very good.
And what's our levels? We're -5.
No, you guys are -7 or +7 on your rating, and we're plus, and
whatever
the
it is.
Austrians are +3.
Yeah, it's +7 for us, +3 for them.
Okay.
And I think that's enough for a wing for King Frederick.
He's your king. I'll take your word for it.
Here I am looking. Wondering
Probably
why I'm
on
not
his
seeing that.
counter, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it should be. I just was too lazy to.
Right, the little 5-star
No.
thing. Yeah.
No,
Oh, that's not it.
no, no. I guess
I have
Oh,
a note
the-
here on the order of battle. It says wing is 5 for Frederick and 7 for Dawn. So you guys
perfect.
should be, yeah.
So 5. So it is a wing if we want a wing.
Yeah.
David, and so then we just need to figure out what we want. So you still got Trescow's wing. You haven't done anything with either of those. You've already done Kata, but not Holson. And then I don't know. I think since you're kind of at the pointy end of the spear, I think Trescow probably ought to go.
All right. Can we have a little discussion for a sec?
Of course. So get your juggling ready there, Eric, so you can entertain the vast audience.
Oh, is that it? Well, fortunately, I have other people I can talk to, so I can
Hey,
chat
what
with
a deal! What a
Rick
deal!
and
All right,
Perry. Make it a party.
we're going to the Prussian HQ.
There you go.
All right.
All right, Rick and Perry, what all should we do here? Attack? I kind of figured, coming from you, that would be the advice. Attack, always attack. Always be attacking. Attack
Best
early, attack
defense is a
often.
good offense. Come on now.
That's true. That's true. I have heard that said before. So, yeah, he's got stuff. Well, he's got one set of infantry that can reach my line this turn. I don't think the other stuff can. It's too far away. So, and bringing it up. Be interesting to see how that all works.
Yeah, but you've done a good job, I think. If you just in the middle, you're talking about hitting your line in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I see him like this is the only infantry that can hit me this turn, and the other stuff could start coming up, and then it's just a matter of does he just put it behind the line that's coming, or does he send it, send it off to the other side, kind of fan out. Because they don't really have much other infantry to back it up. They've got a bunch of cavalry back there. And so...
Well, if he commits that whole echelon, that whole line, all the way across the front, I think it might be interesting for us to try and shift to the right into that little village there on his flank. And if we can push him out, that's going to expose that whole flank as he moves forward.
So you're talking about the the village that's.
Yeah, whatever. There's a bunch of disordered guys in front of, or Finnish guys in front of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that is, yeah, that's true. We're still holding on to that with our Grenzers. Yes, and he does not have much there. I moved my 12 pounders forward over on that side. So there's.
Because I could shift. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Because I was going to say, I could shift that light cavalry to like slide in between his cavalry and his infantry and then send that cavalry to totally hit that flank potentially. The light cavalry trying to delay them long enough.
Oh yeah, that would be
with
interesting.
the infantry moving up too, right?
Yeah. Well, that set of infantry is already moved for this turn. So
Yeah, it's
that's
gonna be next turn.
yeah. So it would be next turn. And the difference that we have with between Bar and Labatai is just the pace of how things move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the sort of thing that, like, here, normally the infantry are moving forward at much faster paces in Labatai.
Right.
And here they crawl along. So there's no real, fast maneuvers. And even with the cavalry, I mean, light cavalry in Labatai has typically a rating of 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Here
Mm-hmm.
it's 7. So it's very interesting that the whole pace of the battle is much slower than what we're used to in the Labatai type of universe. So that
Mm-hmm.
takes a little bit of getting used to. Let's see
You're
here.
referring to here?
Did you
What's
have a
that?
question, Perry?
Oh, yeah, it was the gap that you were referring to. Is that 3501?
3501.
It's on the left
villages
side.
of Brist.
Yeah, Brizen and CR or CH
Kirkdale.
kind of. Yeah.
Like over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And to the left.
I was like,
So there's that gap there, that clear gap. So yeah, if he rushes forward, and I use the word rush lightly here, with that infantry and kind of commits this turn, then we might be able to just, shift everything to the right, and go through that gap with the light cavalry and cavalry screening as the infantry and some of that cavalry shift over there to hit that flank / come from behind.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see what he does with that. It looked like he started to send some of his other heavies
Mm-hmm.
over off to back up his main wing. So yeah, we could see how that works. One of the things that I noticed when we played the Prague game is just how nasty the opportunity fire is when you are marching up with your infantry to engage the enemy. It's absolutely brutal.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So it's going to be.
Just roll well.
Yeah. You have to roll well, for sure. But
Roll like you rolled against me in Waterloo. Good.
What, 66s and 65s?
Another leader.
Well, part of it too was there at Waterloo. A lot of those guys that were taking you off the saddle were the rifle-armed guys. So then they were getting a leader casualty on a 61 or better. And so
nasty.
that made it really nasty.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
but the vassal module for Mont Saint Jean is done.
Yeah, I grabbed it.
Yeah, and so Alex Tabb, who was one of the guys out there at Gettysburg, sent me a note saying, "Hey, if you're organizing a game, he was interested in playing." So I don't know if you're interested in organizing a game, Rick, but you could probably find some guys to from Gettysburg to join in with that. So,
Because nothing says La Bataille like Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
I think the next time it'd be fun if he has the event at Antietam.
Mm.
That says La Bataille. Lots of casualties.
Yeah, that's like the redoubts.
Yep. Yeah. So,
Right.
all right.
All right.
So, what did you guys decide to do? Ready to surrender already, or?
Yep, absolutely.
David has a cunning plan.
Okay, he's good at that.
Yeah.
We're activating the Treshels
Okay.
As a wing.
as a wing.
Cool.
All right. And if you don't have any objection, David, I'm going to go ahead and fire some guns over here at some of these Grenzers.
Oh, nope.
They're at 3 hex range, so 2 of them can actually fire together. There's a 12-pounder and a 6-pounder, 3 hex range. And so that's going to be a total of 18. And is the village of any use at all?
Nope, it's clear terrain.
Still 10.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So it's 1.5 to 1. It's -10. So it's more futility in terms of fighting the bad guys.
There you
that
go.
We're going to shoot. Uno, dos, tres.
Hey, that's not bad. A 72 at 1 to 1.
That wasn't futile. That
That's a
wasn't
single
futile.
hit.
That was a hit and a morale check.
So which one were you firing at?
The finished one.
Oh, okay. Cool. Now he's more finished.
Yeah.
Okay, and we make a check, and we pass.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
They're like, please, can I have another?
Thank you, sir. May I have another? All right, so that's it. Over to you, David.
Okay, and I've got a few 12-pounders at 6, range of 6 here.
5, 6. Okay, yeah.
They're going to be firing at that right there. So that's
Okay.
4 times 5 is 20.
4
range
times
of
5 is
6.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got a 2 to 1, and I've got 7 increments there.
let's take a look at that. It's always one of those things I have to think about. Unlimbered artillery must have the same facing. Remember, they're stacked with a multi-hex, is not placed in any particular hex, just place it above or below the infantry counter when artillery is acting square. Okay, what is that trying to say?
I interpreted it as being there in both hexes. It's split between the 2 hexes.
I think that's probably a reasonable expectation, yeah. Okay. And you are 6, so yeah, okay, so 7. All right. Yep, makes sense to me. All right, so 2 to 1, no modifier, I guess.
That's not
Oi!
Nope, that's a miss.
That's not going to do anything.
So now here's where I'm going to introduce an optional rule that Matthew hasn't published yet, but one that I think makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm not suggesting that we need to do it, but this is a time when it makes perfect sense that you might do something with it. And that is those guys from, what's his name? Braunschweig. So that front row of Prussian troops. In the rules as written, they all march individually. And that means they all get shot at individually. And that doesn't seem intuitive because, of course, they're not marching individually, they're all marching together. And I don't remember the exact wording of the rule, but it's apparently in an example like that, all of them would move together. And I think they all have to be adjacent to each other. I think they all need to be a line together, and of course, all activated, obviously, they wouldn't be moving. And you'll see as he approaches why that matters.
Well, when we played it at Prague and we did that, it was a case where you would like move one guy up and then he would block the guns, and then the other guys could move up and they wouldn't catch as much fire, kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's it's just that, kind of intuitively, that that's a little kind of gamey oddness, right? Because really in real life, these guys are probably all coming on together. In fact, probably one of those cases where if one of them fell behind, the other ones would hold back with them because you don't want the line to get broken up. But whatever. Anyway, I'm just highlighting it. But otherwise, yes.
Well,
in general,
would it make a difference? Because wouldn't they all be suffering opportunity fire every hex?
Well, no. The idea is they're all moving at once, and you can op fire any of them, but the same people can't op fire more than one at a time. That's the difference.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because if you think about it, if one of these guys moves up, he can get op fired by everybody who can see him. And then the next guy moves up and he's going to get op fired by some of them, maybe all of them, depends on how things worked out.
Right.
And so you're going to end up with, 3 units moved and 3 units are getting hit by 2 or 3 enemy units every time they move. And that wouldn't be the case if they were all moving together. I mean, you get to decide which one you want to shoot at, but you don't get to shoot more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing I've joked about the what I call the MG42 rule, where when I play solo, I actually mark how often a unit has fired in a turn, and then deduct 5 from the die roll every time they fire. And the idea behind that is you can keep firing if you want, but it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker if you keep firing at more and more targets. I actually kind of like the elegance of the move the whole line at once, because that feels more like what would really be happening, not individual movement. But whatever. Anyway, in general,
I like it also in that you don't. All right. Now, one of my thoughts would be, well, how can I move? Which order do I want to move these guys in? So
exactly.
I'm going to have the least, I can block from here, and he's not going to get shots at this. And no, as you say, it's the lines moving forward. That's what that sounds more like what we're doing.
It just kind of makes more sense. Have I seen the rule? I don't think I've seen the exact rule. David said that he and Matthew had been talking about it, but he didn't have a copy of it to send. But I think we were in agreement that it seemed like a good idea, just depending upon exactly how it was worded. In general, though, if you kind of want to, the guy who moves first, you want him to be in a position to shade the other guys.
Yeah.
To the greatest extent possible. And he's going to take harder hits, but that's life. What are you going to do? So anyway, there you go. David?
Shall we adopt it or not? What's the consensus?
Well, without having the wording and whatever else, let's just stick with what we know.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine. I mean, I just wanted to call it out because this is a classic example of where it would really change the approach. It would really change the defensive fire more than it would change the opportunity fire, more than the approach itself. But it would change the approach.
You mean I got to figure out which one I want to move first? Then
I would do the one on the left, the one on the west, because given the direction you're going, that's going to be doing more shading. If the guy on the right moves, then he's not going to shade anything.
Yep.
Okay, so I get a shot at him with what?
The 1 6-pounder.
These guns here, and
that's right.
And
that's
here
it.
and here, right?
Well, yeah, but they're too far away. Remember, you're shooting at him as he's leaving the hex 3 hexes away. So the
So
infantry
it's
can't
1,
fire at
2,
him.
3. No, I'm talking about there's guns in this hex and
Oh,
guns in this
yeah,
hex,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So I got basically 3 hexes worth of 6-pounder guns that could fire at him.
Mm,
So it's going to be 7 times 3. So I have 3 increments, right? 1 in each of those hexes. There's going to be 21 to 10. It's going to be a 2 to 1. There's no modifiers. Are we all
sorry.
on board?
No, I do not understand what you're saying.
So
there's
guns
sorry,
here and
sorry.
here,
yes,
and here and here,
yes,
right?
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as he moves there, he's catching it from 1 increment, 1 increment, 1
Yes.
increment, 3 increments of 6-pounders.
Yes.
So
yes.
at range of 7 or range of 3,
Yes.
it's times 7.
So 2 to 1.
Yep. Okay, here we go. 32 at 2 to 1 is
Well
a
done.
miss.
Well done.
Yep.
Excellent. Next.
Okay, and then as he moves from there to there, it's the same thing, except is the modifier different? It's
Oh no, is it?
It's also times 7.
Yep.
So it's another 2 to 1.
All right.
And another great roll.
Mad skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, that was fortunate.
All right, so now that one. So now this is only a
Well, it looks
Well, I
like
got
2 of
these
them
2.
can hit you now.
Right.
no only
Yeah,
Right.
The
So
outer
half
2.
of this. Well,
No,
no, and this guy here is firing too, right?
Yeah, it's only the outer 2 that can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Well, this one would only see half of it, right?
No, he wouldn't see anything. He can't see
Oh,
that
you're
hex
right,
at all.
because he was there. Okay. He's not where he's at. He's where he will be. Okay.
Exactly.
So cool.
It's a whole time-space continuum.
Yeah,
It's
no,
complicated.
I know.
Yeah.
So then that's going to be 14. So that's
So it's
gonna
1
be
to
then
1.
1 to 1. And that's a miss.
Oi! Okay. All right. And now it'll be 1.5.
Okay.
So it'll be 1 to 1.
And that's another great roll.
Mad skills, brother.
I know.
Okay. All right. Well, then, next. Okay, nothing there.
Right. All right. And then
then
I'll get
half.
whatever it is. So that's going to be
Half
7,
there.
right? So it's 7 to 10.
it's a half.
59. I don't think that's a hit anyway, right? Yeah. So nothing.
Oh dear. The infantry would have gotten to fire too.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're
We
right.
were paying so much attention to the guns that we were forgetting.
Well, do we
the
add them
infantry. Now-
in with it, or is
No,
it they're
no,
both separate?
no. The only time that infantry and artillery fire is resolved at the same time is when it is defensive fire, so during close combat.
Right. So just
So
bring
in
them.
this case, opportunity fire. So,
Right.
all right. So the only one that matters is that last move in. Right. Exactly. So that one right there, the infantry in those 2 hexes, which would be 3 increments in each hex. So
well,
6 total.
So he's moving from here to here, and so
Oh, sorry. Yes,
1,
of course.
2,
So it's actually
3.
9.
So I've got 9
9 times 2.
times 2, so that's going to be 18. So that's 1.
Right. So it's 1.5.
Okay. And that's a nothing.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then
I
move
did
the other
that.
guy up, and when he moves forward, 1.5 of those hexes of infantry can fire
Right, so
at
that's
him.
going to be
So
4
that's
times
going to
2. That's
be
gonna 8.
2 plus 3. It's going to be 10.
Yep.
I mean, I'm rounding.
It's all right.
The 2.
I just roll, and I roll bad enough.
Wow.
It doesn't matter. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So I'm glad we're being so fastidious about this,
Yeah.
and then we can feel pretty good about giving you lots of chances.
Yeah.
So the infantry then gets a shot as well on that last. Of course, again, it's only going to be, Actually, it's only going to be
Hey,
one.
it doesn't
pick
matter.
and
I
fire,
rolled
so
a
it's
28.
irrelevant.
Doesn't matter.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. What other movement do you want to do, David?
Take advantage of
1,
these
2,
bad
3,
rolls.
4. Yeah, that is quite an impressive list of bad rolls, that's for sure.
Well, I was telling David before you signed on that I was making a cup of tea because nothing washes the taste of humiliation and defeat out of my mouth quite as nice as a cup of Earl Grey. So there you go.
Well, but there's no humiliation here, right? If you end up losing the battle, you go, yeah, well, did I show you the 8 rolls in a row that I did below 40?
There you go. Well, there's some fellow who always comments on these saying, there's no way the Prussians can win, to which I say, hold my beer, I guess, have you not been watching to see how badly the Austrians roll? Have you not observed that? So
what did you miss?
What did you miss with
All
that?
right. So that's is it
4?
You're almost certainly right. Yes. I just wanted to make doubly sure.
Well, actually,
That's a
severe slope.
That's a steep slope for some of those guys.
Yeah.
So it's actually +2 for.
So it's like through. So
for that guy in the middle
and,
is at 3. The other ones are at 2.
well, actually, this one's only at 1 because that's not even a slope.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
All right, so I'm at 3, 1. Okay,
3 there.
actually,
yeah.
we'll do them one at a time, I guess.
All right, fair enough.
Let's see what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so he's fine. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
No, because
4,
he's
5.
going echelon.
5. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute though. Is he? He's not a grenadier, is he?
No, he's
No,
just a
he's not.
fusilier.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he needs to do a disorder check.
Yeah.
41 less 7. Probably still good enough.
No, it's a disorder check, so it's just
you're
plus
right.
5.
It's not that, yeah.
Right. So he's plenty good enough for that. All right.
That's
2.
2.
2. That's right.
3, 4. And all right, so if I go
You go what?
all right, so if I go this way, extend line.
Yep, that's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2, 3.
At 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 4. Yep.
All right, we'll do that. All right. Okay, now what happens?
Is this like David's evil twin who showed up, or David?
Oh, it's been a while. I've been playing a lot of Lava Time, man.
Okay,
It's been a long time. I've done. Okay, so I mark assaults. Is that what I want to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's close combat segment. So if you're going to do any close combats, which I certainly would encourage, given that you've managed to weather this much defensive fire. So yeah, you'd go ahead and mark the units that you want to do close combats with. No prizes for guessing which ones they are. And then roll your attacker morale checks.
So do I mark who it's going to?
Nope. You
No,
have to
nope,
make your
nope.
checks first.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
then you
right.
identify
'Cause
who's
based-
attacking whom.
Based upon whether everybody goes in, you don't know who you're attacking yet.
Okay. Do I want to bring my commander up too, or is this?
I honestly, I am more cautious about using cavalry leaders for that, because then they end up charging and pursuing with the guys, and then everyone's out of command the next turn. But with infantry, I'm more relaxed about bringing the guys up.
All right. We'll bring them in there.
All right.
Now,
And-
do these
and
checks have that
where's-
7 to it or not?
I'm sorry.
Do these have
Yes.
that?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. The morale checks would add 7. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter any morale check. It can
That's
be
right.
modified. Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, and it's not great fun to.
Yep.
I mean, plus 7's not too bad, but it's still.
Yeah, that's not great.
Not
Okay,
awesome.
so we'll start with that one right there.
All right, we'll start with that one.
Sure
All
that's-
right, so is he's better than a 38, I hope.
So
Yeah, he is. I'll be darned. Look at that.
All right.
All right. Now the next one has the benefit of being in a supported line, so he actually is going to be at -3, and then whatever the leader provides as well.
Oh, so it might be better for me to put the leader on the end.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay.
So still -3.
I forgot about that supported line
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, boom. So the middle one.
Boy, it's a good thing. What's his number?
29. Still good enough.
just
barely.
Just barely though. All right, and
And the
now
last
last one. Oh,
The last one.
no drama there. No drama. Okay. All right. Okay, so then at this point you do the individual combat designations, which of course are pretty self-evident here because there's actually no choice. The 2 units on the right side as we look at it are clearly attacking the unit in front of them, and then the other guy is attacking the last unit. Yeah. So, and this is kind of unusual because we don't often have 2 hex. It's often that you're not in 2 hexes. So it's a little bit counterintuitive how to figure out how that works, but perhaps we should describe it a little bit here.
Sure.
So when you're figuring out how the attack works, here I am.
Table, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, isn't it on the assault or not so far?
No, it isn't. But let me explain. So,
There's an infantry line SP chart. Does that have any?
yeah, but that's not really what I'm getting at. Although, yeah, I mean, yeah, that'll come into play. Page 28, 13.11a, where we're talking about strength points. So all strength points for each of the unit's hexes that are adjacent to an enemy unit. Of course, for single hex formations, that's all of them. But you would have the SPs for each of the unit's hexes that are not adjacent to any enemy unit involved in the combat and are adjacent to a flank hex of an enemy unit involved in the combat. So effectively what it means is when you're conducting this attack, and I'm not saying you're doing it first, I'm just saying when you conduct this attack, we are counting the strength points there and we're counting half of the strength points there. Because well, you're obviously attacking this end of the line. This end of the line is less useful than it would be otherwise. Whereas here, these two guys are attacking the whole unit in a single attack. I just wanted that. It's just a subtlety. What do you do with the strength points over there? You use half of them. That's what you do. Obviously, they can't participate in defensive fire, but when it actually comes time to doing the actual fighting, they half participate. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Now, I don't know. I would say then it's time to see what happens.
Yeah, well, I think I should probably start at this end of the line.
Yeah, probably so. So that is a single combat with those two hexes attacking those two hexes.
Oh, so what? This gets combined into a single one against this?
Yeah, because you're only attacking one enemy unit there, right? You don't attack the hexes individually. You're attacking the unit.
Okay.
And
Well,
so yeah, it is.
I could make the decision then to attack both of them here, and this could attack both of these, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that those two hexes?
I got. Never mind.
Yeah. So, and it's weird, right? I mean, it's
weird. Yep, a little bit.
It's weird because you could think of them as individual units, but then that wouldn't make any sense. What happens if half of it routes and the other half doesn't? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? So you have to attack the unit as a single entity.
So, a question for you then: Does so this unit, could not all three of those attack just that one unit, or is he forced to attack this unit?
Yeah, he has to attack that because if if there's somebody who's in your zone of control, he has to be attacked by someone.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
It's not like Labatai where you can ignore one.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in a Labatai, you're usually attacking a hex on a single hex kind of a thing.
Okay.
So what's next? Defender morale check?
Well, if you've designated the attack, then yes, the defender would do his morale check next. And in this case, because he's in hook, he's in supported line also, so he gets the -10 for being in supported line.
Here we go. Well, we definitely passed that one.
I'm glad you used it there. Okay, I'm. This is so weird. It's very unusual to have a scenario like this, and I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with it.
Well, you could call off the attack. That's one way to solve the problem.
Defensive fire. It's a little late for that now. Defensive fire is executed in exactly the same manner as regular fire, except that artillery and infantry combine their fire strengths when they fire at the same target unit. And defensive fire uses the results found on the right side of the fire combats table. And also there's the modifier. A unit may perform defensive fire only once, with the exception of a 2-hex infantry line and square. A 2-hex line may fire with each hex at different attacking units, or may combine to fire at one unit. A square may fire at up to 3 attacking hexes. If attacked by multiple stacks, a single defending hex can fire at only one of them, defender's choice. If there are multiple reactive stacks eligible to defensive fire against a single attacking stack, all the reactive stacks combine their fire. So basically then, you've got a choice Eric, in how you conduct your defensive fire. You can gang everybody together or not. Just depends on what you think is the right thing to do.
Or I could do this hex fires on that hex, this hex fires on that hex. Or,
absolutely,
or
yeah.
these two combine on that one.
You could absolutely do either one of those. That's right. Now, the one thing to remember is that the fire distribution pattern is different on a hook, because you can only fire for, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Okay. Because you're in a hook here, you can fire 4 strength points here, but you can only fire 2 here or here.
Right.
And so that might color your decision. On the one hand, you could gang up and shoot on that guy, except, you can't really, because you're going to only fire 2 strength points at him. So whether that's really what you want to do, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I would pour everything into this poor sod here. So.
Okay. So
this one's going to go there, and then this one's going to go there.
All right. So you got presumably 1 artillery in each of the 2 hexes, and you're going to have 3 infantry. So we'll add those together because this is defensive fire. So they add together.
I'll have 9 plus 7. I'll have 16.
9
so that's
plus 7. 16. Okay.
Yep.
1.5 to 1 then. It's going to be plus 30, however, because of size and because defensive fire automatically adds 20 if infantry is attacking.
Oh, and I rolled a special result.
Special result. Well, and there is a separate defensive fire special result.
Have the fire strength and re-roll.
Wow, sounds good so far. So it's now 8. So it's 1 to 1.5, still plus 30.
Here we go. That's going to be a 61.
61? That's probably, no, 1 to 1.5. 61 is it's not even enough for a disorder check.
Yep.
Wow, you really got robbed there.
You don't have to tell me about it. It's the Austrian way.
Okay. I was trying to be sympathetic, but
it's okay.
I'll stop that. Yeah.
All right, this guy's going to fire here, and that's then going to be the 1.5 to 1 with a plus.
1.5 to 1
plus
30.
20.
Oh, plus 20.
Because he's not as big a target, right?
Yep,
yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So that's going to be 74.
That's going to be a hit. No, it is. It is. So there's a
morale check
and a disorder check and a morale check. Yep, that's right. So increment there.
Disorder check first or
morale check? Disorder check first.
Disorder check first. That's right.
All right.
Okay.
And morale check.
Morale check. Special result. Oh. Or is it?
No, I don't think it's not a pre-melee morale check. It's a
fire combat morale check. Yeah. Defensive fire. Where is it? I think it's just a fire combat result. There isn't a special one for.
Yeah, so he's going to be shaken.
For that. No,
he failed.
It's a fire combat result.
Where's that?
It's a type A. Morale check.
Yeah, but I don't see a special result for it. Is it on a different table?
You got me curious.
Oh, okay. Here I found it. Morale check A.
Yeah.
So a 0-4 for the Prussians. If caused by defensive fire, re-roll with a plus 20 ER modifier.
Okay. Okay. So, and I always struggle with this because I think, where does it say this in the rules? Morale check. I remember looking for this and having the hardest time finding it. When there's a special result, always wondered where that was. All right. Well, so here's my question, just so you wonder why it is I'm furiously paging back and forth.
Sure.
There's something goofy about special results, and I need to go find the exact rule to be happy about it. There's something that I recall that says that if there's a special result, disregard whatever the original die roll modifiers were. The only die roll modifier that counts is the one that's on the chart, the one that you just read, the plus 20, right?
Yeah. Well, plus presumably whatever your army morale is too, right?
No, actually, that's my point, and that's why I want to find the thing, because it's weird because it's not obvious.
How?
I know it's got to be here somewhere, and I remember struggling to find it last time.
Well, just roll the dice, Dave, and we'll
Yeah,
figure it
roll
out.
the dice. We'll see what happens. Yeah. You roll high enough, it doesn't matter. You roll low enough, it doesn't matter.
So he rolled a
That's
7.
high enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even at plus 20, it doesn't make any difference. Even at plus 27, it doesn't make any difference. So, all right, never mind. I will find that rule, though, because it makes me crazy that I don't know where it is. All right, so that was defensive fire. And so now it's time for close combat.
All right. We don't do defensive fire for the other. We complete this entire thing before we
That's
do the
right.
next one.
Once you go into individual combat, then you exercise the whole thing before you do the next combat. That's right. So you've got 14 strength points attacking, and plus 4 is your printed die roll CV. And the defenders are how many?
I've got 6 increments since the guns don't count.
Guns don't count, that's
and
right.
I've
So
got a plus 3.
Okay, so it's 2 to 1 plus 1. The funny part about infantry combat is it's so much more vanilla than cavalry combat. There's so many modifiers that you typically just don't worry about. Charging and all that kind of stuff. So 2 to 1 plus 1.
2 to 1 plus 1. Bam.
Okay, that's going to be minus 3
Minus 3.
on the 2 to 1.
Says MM.
Okay, so each stack rolls separately, and this is a type G morale check, and so each stack goes separately. The attackers go first. Type G, the things that count are only whether you're at 50% losses, whether you're disordered or shaken, and then leader modifiers and army morale. So in other words, supported line doesn't matter in this case. So it doesn't matter which one you do. Just roll whichever one you want.
Well, one does matter because there's a leader there, right? Which would modify it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you just need to tell us which one you're doing. It's not really terribly important which is which.
Right.
Whether you do one first.
Do that guy there.
All right.
Boom, he's fine.
All right. He's good.
Right there. Boom, and he's good.
He's going to be all right too. So now the defender is really only one unit, so he rolls himself.
And as usual.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Wow, you have been snake bit, brother.
Yeah. You know, it's the what can you do? It's the Austrian way.
It is mad skill. So that is lose 1 strength point.
Right.
Rout. And of course, when you rout, you become a 1 hex unit.
Right.
And then retreat 4 to the rear. And then this is interesting. So this is so funny that this has got so many interesting wrinkles to it. Because now that artillery isn't stacked with infantry.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they actually have to be in one hex or the other. Because the only reason they could float is because they were stacked with the infantry. So I'm just checking to make sure if the infantry in a multi-hex line hook formation containing unlimbered artillery leaves the hex, the unlimbered artillery is placed in either of the multi-hex formation's original hexes.
Bingo.
So, right.
It's pretty
Now,
obvious.
Seems pretty obvious. So now we go to advance after combat. And in advance after combat, when the defending units vacate the attacker's front hex, at least one attacking unit must advance to occupy the vacated front hex. If there are multiple vacated hexes, the advancing units are not required to occupy every vacated hex. The number of units that advance is up to the owning player, but at least one must advance, and that one must be the unit that was used for the combat morale check for the attacker. Oh, well, okay. That's in the event that it was a stack, I guess. For advancing defender cavalry, the one that, yeah, right. However, an advancing stack may split to occupy different hexes. If it defeated multiple stacks, at least one hex vacated by each enemy stack must be occupied. Okay, so bottom line is, David, you almost certainly want to advance on top of those artillery because you destroy them when you do so.
Right.
Now, I don't see any good reason not to go ahead and advance the other stack into the other hex. But I mostly just wanted it to be clear that you have to advance into one of those two hexes. You'd be nuts not to advance into the artillery. And if you're going to do that, then what the hell? Go ahead and move the other guy forward too. So, I don't know. Okay. So that's it for that combat, and then we'll go to the other one.
All right.
Now the other one
has defensive fire.
The defender morale check first.
Oh, defender,
yep.
Yeah, because we do them one at a time. Now this one's complicated a little bit because now there's a +10 modifier to the defensive morale check because there is an enemy unit in your flank. So it's going to be what, +13?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God!
We can just presume the Austrians are going to fail every time.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's like amazing. If it weren't for that 198.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hit anything except one unit, all that opportunity fire. While at Prague, David destroyed all my units that marched up at him.
Exactly.
And so I'm just thinking, oh, well, this will be a repeat. I'll just blow him to crap.
Yeah.
No.
That would have been.
Yeah, would have been.
That's, wow. I guess that's why we play, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Indeed.
Okay. So the defending unit is now shaken. They still get to do defensive fire. They're not affected by that. I guess the defensive fire is pretty much exactly the same here, right? It's going to be 16
9
to
plus
10.
7. Yeah, so 16 to 16 to 10, 1.5 to 1.
1.5 to 1 plus 20.
20. Here we go.
Unreal.
Yep.
Unreal. This is actually like Twilight Zone material at this point.
Yeah, no, it's par for the course. So
unbelievable. Okay, good times. So now we do the combat, and it is the defender's strength points are 5. 3 for the hex that you're attacking, and then 2 for the other hex that you're not adjacent to, because it's halved and rounded. So 7 to 5, it's 1 to 1. And the attacker's got a +4, and the defender's a -2. So it's 1-1 plus 6.
All right. So the shaken doesn't have any effect on the strength. It's just on the modifier.
That's
Yeah.
that's right, exactly. Yeah, disorder affects the strength. Shaken affects the die roll modifier.
Right. So it's 1-1 with what? What's the modifier?
Plus 6.
Plus 6. 1-1 plus 6. I only get 2 for him being shaken, huh? Okay.
Yeah, he gets -5 for being shaken. So, oh my. So that's -1 at 1-1.
Yeah, it's gonna be an MM.
MM, here we go again.
All right. Attacker first.
Maybe the Prussians can roll badly for a change.
Not
Nope.
today.
All right. Survey
now
says...
the defender. Unbelievable.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. All right.
Okay.
Well, you know.
I'm
And
going
this
to go
is
get a
why
beer. I'll
you-
be right back.
Yeah, bring one for me too, Rick.
At least one.
Yeah.
Bring a shot.
Bring a
too,
shot.
'cause,
Yeah, definitely.
the man needs something.
Yeah,
poor
the
guy.
tea.
Wow.
I've already drunk all my tea. I need something more to wash the
It's a
taste
little-
of defeat out of my
little
mouth here. Yep.
Stronger. Oh my gosh.
You need to burn it out.
Yep. There we go. 1,
Two,
2,
three,
3,
four.
4.
Wow. Okay. Now in this case, again, no prizes for deciding what to do. The artillery slides to the west
Right.
because the infantry can't take them out. So the infantry advance into the hex on the east because that's all they can do. And wow. And the really amazing part about that is because these were both MMs, they're not even disordered.
Oh, would they be disordered otherwise?
No, but most of the time, if you look at most of the combat results chart, it's 1D, 1R, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Right? So this is a little bit unusual that both of the combats were only one round.
Right.
Somebody broke at the end of the first round, and so no one's disordered of the winners is disordered. So that was vastly more successful than I thought it was going to be.
Well,
I mostly-
you
I
can
mostly-
thank me for that.
I mostly made it that successful just so David would stop being so nervous about attacking.
There
Go,
you
David!
go.
It's always going to be this easy, David. Go!
Can I do anything with facing?
Actually, none of them can because they're all in enemy zones of control when they move into the hex. So no.
Gotcha.
So that's it.
If
All
that
right.
6-4 hadn't been there behind, could I have changed the face?
Then those two guys in the middle, in your left hexes, could have. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay because honestly, I mean, yes, your flank's open, and yeah, that's not lovely. But on the other hand, that's why you've got a second line behind you. If he starts turning to face you, he's opening his flank up to other guys to attack. So it's not a walk in the park for him to turn on your flank. There's a price to be paid, I guess. So that's it. Job done.
All right.
All right, flip your people over.
So
Okay. We'll have you being as maniacal as you were at Brandywine here in no time. As you came,
was a long time
screaming
ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah. But you weren't shy then.
I don't
You
know
came
why
running
he'd be
across
shy
there?
now.
Well, because I don't think we were counting on you having an average die roll of 21.
Yeah.
That was not something we expected.
Wasn't something I expected
Labatai
either,
would be
yeah.
lousy rolling.
Yeah.
Even on base 66, 2 dice, it would be lousy rolling, and it's even worse here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, David, before you go off and get that well-deserved drink, you should roll for our initiative for the next activation.
Okay, I can do that.
I can do that.
What is this?
Okay.
I did it.
What is 01?
Oh,
that's
leader army lapse.
That's a Prussian 1.
Yeah.
So the king has taken a powder. And so I'm going to put, come on.
Well, after that great attack, he's just giddy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is.
It's probably
I'm just going to put a finish marker next to the king,
right.
just so we remember that he is currently lapsed. And so now it's going to be -2 in favor of the Austrians.
Ah, here's another one. 06. Pick a command to perform a free disorder recovery or rally phase for the Prussians.
Oh, that's an easy one. Do you want to do kata?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
They're all within reach of him, so I would think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah.
Looks like you got 3 stacks back there that could use a little love.
Yep. So, okay, so first this one, you do disorder first, right?
Do disorder first,
Yep.
I got 1 disorder there. I don't think that's enough.
Probably not. Yeah, because he'd have to be a 17
Yeah.
for that to work. So no. All right. Now, plus 17 to rally. It's not enough either.
Nope, that's not enough. He's throw that
All
one.
right.
This
And then the
guy
next
here.
one, and he's half dead,
Yeah.
so it's plus 27, but that is good enough in this case.
And the last one, shaking.
Last
No,
one.
he's not enough.
No. All right. Well, you know what?
I would have
It's
liked
like-
you to get those rolls
Yeah.
well, on the on your morale checks to attack me or something.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But no, you don't get to choose,
not
do
today. Not today.
you? All right. Try again, David.
All right.
That's
and you
That's
got-
a tie.
Yep.
There's
Now
the
that
one.
advances our clock. So we advance the clock, and it is the bad guy's turn.
Okay. Who's getting a whiskey?
Me.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I got to figure out what to do to deal with you.
Right.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, you got plenty of options, but clearly that's a little bit of a puzzle to solve there.
Right.
That big second line right behind them.
Well, you know, yeah. Well, my question is, can he move? Are they stuck in zones of influence, or can they move into gaps? So, for example, could this guy advance here, or is he stuck in the zone of influence?
Oh, okay. That's a fair question. Honestly, that should be.
Couldn't he do that, but he gets opportunity fire or not?
Well, you
Or does he
definitely get
stop?
outfired. I mean, you would definitely get outfired if you were to do that. That's for sure.
Whether he's stuck.
I'm kind of not 100% sure. Usually, in my mind, if you have op fire, usually that's the penalty, right? So you would be able to move, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. So here I am looking. Apparently, I've been playing some other game in the last week, and I've flushed my cache, so I no longer remember anything. Zones of control, 14.
So it looks like you spend 1 additional movement point when you move from one to another. Facing changes.
It's not really what we're
blah, blah,
doing here,
blah.
though, is it?
No additional cost to exit an EOZ. Friendly units do not negate EOZ effects. So unlike, say, Labatai, where you're basically pinned there, in this case, you could move out of it.
Should change. Yeah, you're right. It sure looks like it to me because it costs you more to move in, and it gets you shot at
Right.
if you move out. So that's your penalty. So yes, he could. Whether he'd want to is another question. But
right.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but that goes some way towards me trying to figure out how to plug the gap there.
Right.
So
mind the gap.
Exactly. So let's see. I guess we could activate Veed over here.
Yep.
Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're getting close, but not close enough yet. Good. And then I guess I have to make a roll for him to stand, because otherwise, if he fails, guys couldn't move. They couldn't do close combat, but they could move in. But
no, and that's a yes. So the thing to bear in mind is if the leader himself is out of command because he fails his own initiative roll in this case, that's what your concern was, then no one can do rapid march, and no one can enter an enemy zone of control unless they're already adjacent to that enemy zone of control. Then they could enter it. That would be their only movement in that case, would just be to move into the enemy zone of control. The time when a unit cannot conduct close combat is when the unit itself is out of command.
Okay.
Because he's too far away from his leader. So really, the leader being out of command is not that troublesome. Not really. A little bit, but not a lot. Like, if Veed is out of command, this guy, for example, couldn't move there.
Right.
But if he's in command, then he could move there.
Okay. That's what I was curious about. All right. Well, let's see if we keep up with
our anyway,
fantastic Austrian luck tonight. An 8.
Unreal. He did it again.
Yep.
Mad skills.
Yep.
Mad skills. Yep. Okay. All right. So everybody can move. Just no rapid marching, and no enemy zone of control unless you're already adjacent to him.
Can I do assaults though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
because the units are not out of control.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's at least something.
Yeah. No, it's like there aren't a lot of these paragraphs that I can actually like tell you the name of the paragraph.
Right.
But 7.6C is the paragraph that describes when a command leader is out of command, and 7.6D is when an individual unit is out of command.
Right.
And the difference between those is really important, and in many ways not really obvious. So those two, I always encourage people to go back and reread and be sure they understand.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I do my firing first. Oh, Perry, you have a question.
Just a quick question. So even if the leader is out of command, if the unit is within range of the leader, the unit is still in command?
That's right.
Yeah, so it's kind of on a separate rung. So because the leader is out of command from the army leader or his wing leader, and he failed his own initiative, there's some restrictions for him. Usually, we've been dealing with this oftentimes out on the end of the line where the cavalry are, where it doesn't matter because cavalry can still launch their assaults from a distance. They charge from a distance. But for the infantry, they have to come adjacent before they can do it.
Right. And yeah, the difference there is that the limitations that are described in 7.6C and 7.6D only apply to the movement phase.
Right.
And the reason that matters is because charge movements during the close combat phase. And
Right.
that's why cavalry are a little bit more relaxed about whether the commander's in command or not, because frequently doesn't much matter. But for infantry units, it really does, because you can't get up there against the enemy if your leader's not in command.
Right. Okay.
So,
all right.
So yeah, you can do your fire combat first, of course.
Okay. So I've got this chap here. We'll take a pot shot there.
Right. So that's,
and so he's got 4 increments. Yep. So 4 times 3. That's going to be 12.
Okay. 1 to 1.
1 to 1 with a plus
1 to 1 plus 10.
I'm just going to disconnect the computer.
I am so grateful that this is going out on the interwebs, so we'll have a record of this, and someone who's really bloody-minded could go back and can actually calculate how bad it really was.
Yeah, this is...
Because this is one of those things nobody believe you.
Yeah, no, this is... Yeah. If it weren't actually happening, you wouldn't realize just how horrible it is. All right.
Nobody would believe it.
I will fire these guns here, since they've got something to shoot at now that's a little closer. So the howitzers can fire on this unit here.
That's correct. Yep,
and
they can.
So I've got
3 hex
2
range.
increments of howitzers at... so they are times 3, it looks like. Yep. So that's going to be 6 to 10.
6 to 10. So it's going to be 6 to 10. So 1 to 2 plus 2 plus 10.
Yep. Here we go. And there we have another fantastic roll. I don't know why I even bother.
This is just bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then
what's this?
Yeah, let's fire this one here. What the heck?
Okay. All right.
So that's going to be a range of 3. So that's going to be 7. So that's going to be 14. 14
so
to
1 to 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Here we go. 56.
Wow.
I don't think that's enough for anything, is it?
That's not enough for a hit, but at least it wasn't embarrassing.
I know.
Yeah. But again, you shouldn't be embarrassed. This vassal die roller.
It is. It's obviously the vassal die roller is against me tonight. Well, and every night. Every night the Austrians have had to roll.
Not like tonight.
Yeah.
Nothing like tonight.
No, this has been truly, truly sad. All right. Let's carry on with what Veed is going to try to do.
Yeah. What's Veed got in mind?
Yeah. So I'm going to have this guy here go into a 2 hex line. Right?
Okay.
So I'm going to find an extended marker if I can.
You got lots of them all over.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
That's
so
1, 2.
So that's 1, 2, and then he can move there.
3, 4.
Yep.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So that should be good for him.
That'll be great.
Well, at least he's kind of covering his friends of sorts.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's why you got a second line.
Yep.
Sometimes you need it.
Okay. Now I'm tempted to do something with this guy here where he comes around and tries to hit this guy.
Sure.
So if we go here 1.
Try not to think too hard about all the cavalry that's out there.
I'm not. 2.
Okay, good.
And then 3 gets him there.
Yep.
All right. And then this guy can move up and take his spot. So that's going to be 1, 2 to get there. And let's see. I've got this skirmisher. I'm going to put him here. Right? Cool.
Okay.
They give you more stuff to destroy. All right.
Admire the attitude. That's good.
Is that skirmisher in the right aspect? Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's 1, 2, 3, 4 front hexes. Yep.
Right. Yeah, he's still facing north. Right.
All right. This guy is going to move 1, and then 2, and then 3 to kind of come up there. And let's see. We'll keep these ponies down here where they can maybe keep an eye on what's going on. Well,
Good.
We'll just shift them that way slightly.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, and then
in case you get called for.
Yeah. Okay, so what can we do? I think that's it as far as units that I have that can do anything fun. So then we're going to try to do a close combat with this guy here.
Alrighty then.
Yep. So here we go.
Your optimism is deeply touching.
Hey, I cannot fail every roll. I've got to pass at least one. Hey, I passed one.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
hope he's at least a 39.
Yeah, he's a 32.
Okay. He's not great, but he's
not great, but he's better than a poke in the eye.
Okay. That's right. No, absolutely. All right. Very good. So the defender needs to roll, and he's going to be rolling with a plus 10. So it's going to be plus 17 minus 5, so it's going to be plus 12, and he is shaken. Oh. So the attacker is coming in with a, let's see, it's a
6 to 8.
6 to 8, so it's 1 to 1.5. You've got a 4, 5, 6, 7 is your die roll modifier, and the defender is at -1. So that's
plus 8.
1 to 1.5 plus 8. 1 to 1.5 plus 8.
Okay, here we go. So that's going to be plus 7.
That's a 7 at 1 to 1.5.
So it's a 1D, 1R. So I lose 1 and I'm disordered. He loses 1
That's
and he
right.
routes.
That is correct, yes.
Yay, my Austrians did something.
Yeah.
All right, so we can flip him and mark him 1, and then he's going to be disordered. Okay. So now what? You've got to figure out where you're retreating to, right? Where you go back 4.
Yeah. And, I don't know. Not a lot of great choices there.
So I thought we did the thing where yeah, so it's either
yeah, I mean, either way. I mean, the truth is that because the skirmishers are there, he's going to lose another increment regardless.
Right.
And, well, I mean, either way, he's going to lose 1. And so then presumably he'll just run over one of those units. He's going to probably... Why I'm having so much trouble finding it.
Yeah, so he ended up there, so you just roll for that chap there, I guess.
All right.
So, and is that a disorder check, or is that a morale check?
It's a morale check, so it's going to be plus 7, but minus 10 for support of the line, so it's going to be minus 3, so he's
that should
fine.
pass.
And the officer was with him too, so he was minus 5.
Okay, so then I advance into that hex, is that correct?
That's right. You're not in an enemy zone of control, so you don't have to maintain that facing.
So
you might want to.
Right, so I could turn and face this way, for example.
You could. Yeah, of course, on the other hand, you've got the skirmishers watching your flank, so
which is
maybe
why
you
I
don't
put them there.
feel the need to.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's fine.
No, we'll turn. We'll turn to face your evil people. Is that the right thing to do, Michael? I don't know.
No, not at all. That's probably what I would do. The only time that I wouldn't, the only reason it was even a question is because you do have the skirmishers in your flank, but there are not very many of them anymore. So I'm not sure I'd be counting on them holding anybody off for very long.
Right.
But yeah, it's probably not an unreasonable thing to go ahead and turn and face and just count on everybody else to deal with those Prussians that are in your line now.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
well, then
reasonable, I'd say.
that should take care of things for Veed. So we will go ahead and flip him over.
Flip Veed.
All right. The guy that ran away, is he routed or was he shaken?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he should be marked as routed. Yeah.
There you go.
You gotta give Eric a victory, otherwise he'll stop playing.
I will just turn the whole army over to you, Rick, and you and Perry can deal with the Austrians. It could just be that I am unlucky.
No, you just move everything and we'll roll the dice for you.
Okay. That was my mistake. I should have let you guys press the button instead of me.
Here in Vassal, we don't have the thing that you have in Tabletop Simulator where you can flip the table. and maybe today I'm pretty happy about that. Just because
you know me, Michael, I would not flip the table. But yes, this is a string of bad luck that was,
Yeah.
This is your son of Austerlitz here. This is the son of Kolin.
It is.
Apparently,
That's exactly
the sun
what
is
it is.
shining in our eyes.
Apparently,
We fired at the wrong time, at the wrong people. Yeah.
It's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us. All right. Well, then it is time for another roll. It's my turn this time.
Well, actually, let's let Rick or Perry roll the dice since they're here. This is how they learn.
I got one question for you too. Just could before he did that, could he have actually collapsed this infantry unit to there?
Yes.
Okay, because this is next to the zone of control.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So if you'd wanted to, you could have collapsed that 9-4 into the left hex.
And then combined them with the...
You could have, yeah.
Oh, and attacked?
You could have, yeah.
Okay.
Because you were already in the zone of control, right. And even the half of it that's out of it, it would be collapsing into it.
Oh, right. because Veed was out of command, right? So I could have attacked with that guy if I wanted
That's
to.
right.
Okay.
That's right. In fact, the other one that I was considering you might do is wheel with him and have him attack, instead of bringing that other unit around, just wheel the unit in place. You would have gotten a one-to-one opportunity fire shot at you, but
that's true. Yeah, and if he collapsed that in, I would have gotten an opportunity fire.
Yeah, you would have there too. So what he did actually was maybe in some ways tidier because the attack was purely coming in on the flank, so it was stronger than it would have been if you'd attacked from the front and the side. But,
right, because I would have potentially taken defensive fire, right? If I'd used the I was
you
in
would
his
have
front facing, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And so there were that wasn't a bad way of dealing with it, and you still got a good solid line behind those guys. So you're in pretty good shape.
Cool. All right. Let's see, Rick. Why don't you throw the dice? See what we get. Well, that's one for the Austrians.
Be another Austrian activation.
All right. Do you guys have any suggestions for me? Are we going to... I've got artillery in the back that hasn't moved yet. I've got my Grenzers here that haven't moved yet. I've got some cavalry, although it doesn't make sense to charge the cavalry against the infantry, does it?
The thing to be mindful of is that as I tried to explain to the fellow I was playing, I wish I could remember his name. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. The guy I was playing Chatuzits with at Consim World last summer.
Right.
And his Austrian infantry was struggling just like Austrian infantry struggles against Prussian infantry.
Right.
And so he was thinking, wow, I wonder, now that I've kind of destroyed all of your cavalry, I wonder if I should just take a run at the corner of your line and I'll mess them up. And I said, okay. I mean, yeah, but bear in mind that attacking formed infantry is high-risk poker.
Right.
Because obviously you're going to get defensive fire. You're going to get chances to get disordered. You're going to get chances to be messed up. The other thing is if you don't win on the first round of combat, all your pluses go away in the second round, and the defender actually gets some pluses against you. So in other words, you got to win first thing.
Okay.
So it's a whole lot more tempting to go after infantry that's either ground up and can't do as much defensive fire, or they're a little shakier. Just saying, could you do it? Yes, you could.
Okay.
Is that maybe the first thing you'd think to do? Maybe not.
Hey, so for opportunity fire, if somebody is moving from 2 hexes away to 1 hex away, that triggers something. If someone's 2 hexes away and they change formation 2 hexes away, that triggers something. So anything within that zone of 2 hexes, is
anything within the 2 hexes causes it, and so you kind of do some thinking about, make sure you do your facing change while you're still far enough away, that kind of thing. Just
right.
Try not to linger in the kill zone too long.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to backstop that line and, get people here, but then they will, if they change formation here, they'll get shot at by that guy, kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah. Although, again, 2 hex range, you're going to get shot at, but, it's not going to be as bad.
Right.
As it would be if you were directly adjacent. You definitely wouldn't want to do that. So, where's the leader? Oh, there's the leader. Oh, okay. So you're thinking about activating Sincere?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and trying to get either these guys or these guys to shift over to kind of, I was trying to figure out, well, is there a way I can get one of these guys into the hex there with the guns?
Probably not. Well, right, because Stahlberg's already gone.
Yeah.
Starnberg, that's going to be tough because it's gonna cost you 1 to go into line because you're facing the correct way.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could get there if you don't mind doing
I'd have to do a rapid march.
A rapid march, which means, but of course, I think
Sincere is
you're
in
close
command.
enough.
Yeah, because he's
Sincere's in command, so you don't even. And then there's Don.
And then there's Don back
so.
there. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about
so
that.
Yeah, you could certainly get one of those units up there, and and then maybe other units kind of helping to seal the hole.
Yeah.
So you could do that.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, did I say that out loud?
Well, you know what the worst thing is that can happen.
All right. So the top unit here, we're going to take him out and we'll put him in line. So there's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and then it's 5, 6 to go there.
5, 6. That's right, exactly.
All right, and then we make a disorder check, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. And we pass on a 60.
Looks good.
Okay.
Looks good.
Cool. And let's change this so he's stacking is different.
Okay.
I think we have it stacked right now, do we? Yes, we do.
Now,
okay.
Now, did he change? He changed formations a couple of times. Right?
He changed formation in this hex.
That's right.
Right, and then he went, and he's in line, so he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he changed formation way out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's only one to go to the left, right?
Yes. So when they're facing this way, the guy that's the lead company,
senior company is in the
front. And so now when you change facing, he's on the right, which is where they like it. Yep.
So that's the cheap way, is to the left.
Yep. Okay. So then this guy is going to go that way, and he can go 1, and then
1, 2 now.
2. Yep. And then this is going to be 3, 4 gets him there.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
All right. And then this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4 gets him there. And I guess what I'd have to turn 5, 6 to get him around the corner. Right. 5.
If you wanted to, 5, 6. Yeah.
6 like that.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's see if we have any luck with him. A 0, 2.
It's a special result, though, so gotta go see what the 0, 2 special result is.
This is a disorder check for movement actions. Reroll
That's right.
with double all the original checks modifiers. So what were the modifiers?
So I
didn't go over any weird terrain. So what's
it was just for rapid march, right? So rapid march is +5, so it would be +10 instead. No, it's just +5 if you use rapid march at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, it's not per hex.
So it's +10.
Okay, here we go. So that's still good enough.
All good.
Cool.
All right.
All right. And these other guys here are going to shift a little bit. So there's 1, 2. Well, that would be 3, 4. Now we'll just go there and then we'll turn back. And we'll slowly shift our way over there if we need to. Yep, sidle on over.
All right.
Okay, well, we have the semblance of of a line. Let's go ahead and flip Mr. Sincere over. And I don't think he's got anybody back in the backfield. I think that was Puebla that's got people way back here marching up. Oh, yeah, and Veed's got some people. I'm sorry, I forgot to move these guys way back here that are out of command, that are part of Veed. So 1, 2, and this guy's going to be same thing. 1, 2. Eventually they'll show up. Oh, no, that's Puebla's guys. Where's Veed's other guy? Oh, here they are. 1, 2. Okay. All right. All right, so that takes care of Sincere. So,
all right.
Rick rolled the dice on that. So now I guess we can have Perry roll.
All right.
All right.
And that's also going to be a tie.
So roll again.
Oh.
All
right, and that's going to advance the clock. And it's going to be an Austrian activation.
All right. Let's see. We still have our Grenzers to move up. We still have reinforcements for Puebla to move up. We've still got a bunch of our cavalry here that hasn't moved. Our cavalry over here that hasn't moved.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen, what are your suggestions for me?
A flank action at this point makes sense, or a wing action, I guess you'd call it.
Well, we can't do a wing activation, but the question is, where did you guys want to try to go? Do you guys have any suggestions on what command I activate next?
I was going to suggest Vienna would be a good destination for you.
We're going to go to Prague. It's the next best thing.
I mean, do you think you're going to get a couple more activations?
Oh, yes. I should be getting a few more. Because where are we at on the turn, right?
We're 3 out of 7, but I mean 3 out of 6, right? So we got plenty more activations. And you've got a +2 currently So more of the activations would be yours. So there's, yeah, you would expect at least 3 or 4 more activations at this point, maybe 5.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking of is like, do you want to see if you can get him to go first, a couple more before you move something? In which case you'd want to move like your reserves up. But I don't know. Unless you think you can push something like with your cavalry on the right.
That's what I was thinking, is you have a lot of cavalry there. And hussars, you might come to use.
The ones that are out there on the left wing?
No, I think he means the right wing.
Oh, so those hussars already activated earlier this turn, so they're kind of out of it. Well, some of them did. These ones here haven't done anything, so that's
M hasn't activated.
Yeah, so that's some heavies and then some of this stuff, and we could throw those guys in as an attachment while we're at it. But the question is, what do you guys see that I could do with those guys? Do you have any suggestions?
Oh gosh, I didn't realize that those are Veed's guys there, right?
Which ones? The ones under Nadajdi? Yeah, they're part of Veed. So I can attach them to anything since they're stashed with Nadajdi.
Well, unfortunately though, you can't.
What do you mean I can't?
Because they've already activated.
I'm sorry, what?
Veed already activated.
They actually activated when Veed activated, even though they're not stacked anywhere near him. It's still they're activated at the same time he is.
Okay,
that's a subtlety that's not obvious, but you're exactly right. The way you'd have to take advantage of that is to attach them before their actual formation activates, because otherwise they're going to activate with their formation. So they would have already been finished at this point.
Oh, well, then I will have them activated or attached to Mohawk. It doesn't make sense for them to be otherwise.
But you would have had to activate Mohawk
first before you activated Veed.
I'm confused.
Okay.
When I read through it, it said that that with the leader, they could then be attached. They're an attachment, and I can attach them to another command. So that's why I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, so it's just an order of operations problem. You're exactly right. You could absolutely attach him to Nadajdi and activate him when another formation activates.
Okay.
But a unit can never activate twice. And all the units in Veed's command activate at the same time when Veed activates. Meaning those guys already have activated, so they can't be activated again. And
so when do they get attached to the other thing?
They do when another command activates, and they're stacked with, a wing leader who can activate at the same time.
Okay.
And so if M had activated first, they could have attached those Veed units.
Okay.
And then could have done whatever M wanted to do.
Sure.
And then when Veed activated, well, those guys already activated, so of course they're not going to activate again.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
So the trouble is, if your parent outfit goes first, then you've already done your thing.
Okay. So at this point in time, those guys can't do anything for the rest of this turn.
They're done.
Right. Yeah. But then later, when I activate Mohawk, then I could say I'm now attaching them to Mohawk for future reference.
No. Attachment is something that happens on a one activation at a time.
Okay.
It's not like you're actually reassigning them and changing their command.
Right.
Their chain of command.
6.4b actually says, if used with the ladder, the attached units must be from an unactivated command that does not belong to the wing being activated.
So 6.4b, attachment can occur as part of a single command activation or wing activation. If used with the later, the attached units must be from the unactivated command that does not belong to the wing being attached. My brain is not able to process that.
I don't.
The unactivated command, and VEED is an activated command now.
I don't think that's what that says, David.
Well, that says actually slightly different.
Because it says if used with the latter, if used with the wing activation. So no, that's not it. But let's see if we can find it. An unactivated combat unit of one command can be activated as a temporary member of another command, provided the unit is stacked with a leader who is also being activated. So the very first words there are the giveaway.
Right, unactivated combat
unit. Unfortunately, the combat unit already has been activated, so he's not eligible to be attached.
Okay.
However, next turn,
I would need to activate Mohawk first, provided I wanted to attach him to that.
Right.
Okay.
And then that's a fairly unusual circumstance because, of course, you don't really have to stay with Nadazdi. But at the end of M's activation, you'd put a finished marker on those units. Right. Or just if they're still stacked with Nadazdi, you just flip a Nadazdi over, and the units, it's understood that those units are finished because they got activated with another command.
Okay, that's fine. Live and learn.
You could have moved them with VEED when you had and
absolutely they would have, and you could have attached. Well, yeah, and they could have been in command anyway because they were stacked with
Nadazdi. They were stacked with Nadazdi, so they still would have been in command, and they could have had their full movement potential. But they would have moved when then I activated VEED. Okay.
Right.
So then next turn, if I want to attach, so is it going to happen every time I want to move them? So say next turn I activate Mohawk and I say I'm attaching these guys to Mohawk, and it's before VEED's been activated.
Exactly. Yep.
Then
absolutely.
For that turn and only that turn, they're part of Mohawk's activation.
That's right.
And then in a subsequent turn, if I move VEED first before Mohawk, then I'm in the same situation I am right now.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Because I've been reading through Regs 30 in preparation in preparation for this Moscow game that we're doing, and that's where then you're attaching stuff, and it's attached to this other command, and it's understood that it's attached until some point in the future where it gets detached and reassigned somewhere else. And so that's why I was thinking, I'm attaching it to this, and they can move it when I do that. So basically,
this is a lot more transitory.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's good to know. All right. So, gentlemen, my
general thoughts are: you still want to have some ability to react in the middle, since all his stuff in the middle hasn't gone yet.
Okay.
So maybe the reserves or the cavalry to kind of absorb some of that stuff movement until he moves center, so you can react to it.
So you mean this stuff here?
Yeah, if you can save some of that. If you can save anything to react to that.
Yes. So I don't need to do anything here with Puebla yet. I don't want time to run out though before I do, because he's got reinforcements that would be left high and dry if they're not able to move this turn.
Oh, if he doesn't get to activate.
Yeah, if he doesn't get to activate, then they don't get to come up, or most of them don't get to come up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I do want to try to get the Grenzers though over here, where they could either help out the their colleagues and form another line, or get them over here to the woods where they can help out the cavalry or something. So
I mean, I like getting him to the woods just because if you look at his stuff over there, it's pretty beat up. So are you, but
yeah,
if you can get more over there, you might have a bit of an advantage.
yeah, no, I concur. All right, so I'll go ahead and activate Beck, who is here. He's within command of Don, so we don't need to roll for that. The only units of his that are out of command are these skirmish cavalry out here. So that's where, Rick, I would say, what do you want to do with them? Because I'm going to let you do something with them, since you're now my new cavalry commander of the left wing.
Wow.
He's been promoted. Battlefield
promotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So because they're out of command, their movement is half, but because they're skirmishers, it only costs half a movement point to move through a hex. So they can basically move 8 hexes, unless they're going through, Sunken Road or something like that, right? Am I understanding that correctly, Michael?
Yeah, no, you're quite right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's they've got 4 movement points to spend, but they only spend half on most terrain.
Yeah.
And the front hexes are the first 4 or just 2?
Yep. So they've got 4. Yeah.
And I don't have to pay for facing changes. I just
you would.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. So if you were to turn them 1 vertex, it would cost 1 point.
Okay.
But they can move out through there. They can move sideways.
Yeah.
So they can move this way without a problem.
They don't need to turn as much as other units do.
Yeah.
All right. So if I were to do something like 1, 2, 3.
So your idea is to bring them over here somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. So he does have, I guess, artillery over here that he could use to menace us. But I mean, he can't touch us with any of his heavy cavalry. Unless, well, is there a way? Or if you surround them or you hit them, what's the rule for retreat before combat? As long as you've got an empty hex you can go through, or?
Yeah, so the retreat before close combat would be that you would retreat 1 or 2 hexes, and then you'd have to do a type D morale check. Type D morale check is done at the end of your retreat.
Well, okay.
And then so that's what happens there.
Right. So, I mean, I guess, unless they're surrounded or something? I mean, it doesn't say anything about, yeah.
Well, remember, so what happens, though, is you can do it once, and you may end up being shaken at the end of the retreat.
Right.
So, obviously, if somebody hits you again, and you're shaken, well, then the chances are a lot better that you're going to rout. You're going to turn and run away, and then you're going to have to rally and bring yourselves back. So, in other words, you can do it. You just can't do it for very long. It's a thing that you can do for a while.
Right. So the idea, Rick, is that if he were to activate, say, this command, and they were to charge 1 or 2 of these guys, and then they retreat before combat, and if they fail their morale check, they'd be shaken. They'd still retreat, but they'd be shaken. And then if he has these guys charge them, they could still retreat before combat, but then they would have to make another morale check, in which case then they would rout, is the idea. So they're not completely impervious to everything. It's still a case where they can, over time, get chased off, is, I guess, the right way of thinking about it.
So I'm just going to move them to the side a bit.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's good. That'll cover our line.
Something like that.
Perfect. Good. And then I'll go ahead and move the infantry, unless Perry wants to, just so that you have the experience of moving something.
Which infantry?
So these are these 8 Grenzer units that are here in the, whoops, what happened to one of them there? That are here in the center of the line. Right. So our idea is that we're sending them just right down the pike this way to either get them into the woods or to use them as a buffer.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's no cost for them going up or down the slopes. So it's basically they move at half a movement point per hex. So they can all go 8 hexes.
They need to change orientation? Or
They do not. So they're facing, so this chap here has got a front. He's got 4 front hexes.
Okay.
So we can just move him right down the pike, just down this line of hexes, just this way.
He travel over this fella here?
Yeah, he can go through leaders. He can go over leaders. There's no problem
leaders
for
don't
that.
have any effect.
Yeah.
And you said it's half a point per?
That's correct.
And I don't think the slopes.
Yeah, the slopes do not
slopes affect
impede
them?
the skirmishers. It's a +0.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then we don't reorient them.
Nope, we don't need to do anything with that. And then what you would do now is you would flip the leader over if that's where you want him to be. And where he's at right now, he's out of range of Dawn. But I don't know that it's going to be... We can't rapid march skirmishers anyway, so even if he doesn't roll his initiative, it's not going to affect the skirmishers because we wouldn't be rapid marching anyway, and usually we're not moving into an enemy zone of influence. So I don't know that we necessarily need to have him somewhere back in the tail of the line. He's fine where he is, I think, right?
Okay.
So then you would just go ahead and flip the leader over.
How do I flip him?
So you're going to double click on the stack that he's with, and that's going to kind of open up the stack so that he kind of pops up on top. And then you can select him. So just select his counter, and then you can press Control F, and that will flip him over.
Okay.
So no, that's not the leader. The leader's this guy over here.
Okay. This guy here. Okay. So
yeah, so it's not the unit. It's not the lead unit. It's the leader that's stacked here. So you see the guy there that's got the 4 parentheses 10. That's the leader counter. So he's the one that's going to get flipped over, indicating that his command has activated for this turn.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, and then while we're at it, I wanted to move this gun here. So we just move it forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can mark that as finished. All right, and I think that takes care of that particular command. So now we can go back to, are we back to you, Michael, for rolling?
Yeah, it would be back to me for rolling. So let's go ahead and do one more activation here.
And it's
or
another
not.
special something.
We'll do a 7, Prussian 7.
So a free movement segment initiative required.
Hmm.
Can that be with the unit that's already moved?
It can be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in that
so
case,
they can
it
get
can
moved
be.
twice.
Right. Yeah. And because it requires the leader to pass initiative, well, for one thing, I think it only applies to the units that are actually within the leader's command radius, and he has to pass. So it's tempting to do it with cavalry units when you can, because they tend to have better initiative ratings. Not always, but tend to.
Why wouldn't you? I don't know if he's in command. Why wouldn't you try to press your attack and continue to assault?
Because you only can move.
Oh, you only can move. Okay.
Right.
So it's not like
yeah, it's not.
There's a special.
It's not an activation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's two things that are part of this special role. One is where you can get a free movement. Another is where you can get a free rally or disorder recovery. Another one is where you get a free combat segment. So it could be that he could, if he wanted to, right, he could move his infantry right up to the front of the line, hoping that he gets a, free combat. But if he were, for example, to activate this group of infantry, they could move, but they couldn't initiate an assault.
Right.
But if he got the free combat, he could have those guys assault again that assaulted earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, just the guys that are in.
Yeah.
That are in his.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, in general, you only get to activate. Yeah, and you can't rely on it. The other guy can't rely on it. But what it means is you can't be sure that the enemy aren't going to approach and hit you faster than you think.
Yeah. It's like bonuses,
Right.
yearly bonus. Odds are you're not getting it, so you can't count it. In theory, everybody's going to get a bonus.
Don't budget for it. That's a fair way of putting it. Okay. David, you got anybody that you think you'd like to do that with?
Do what with? I was
a potential free movement.
Potential free movement. And what are the restrictions? They can't.
So they can't. I don't know what the restrictions are per se, but
I mean, the only restriction is the leader has to pass an initiative check.
Yeah.
And then the units within his command radius get a free movement segment. And only movement segment.
Are they allowed to move into EZOC or anything? Or?
It's just like any other activation, but it's only the movement segment of the activation. So, yeah, I mean, they could, as long as, well, of course, they have to be in command to move. But yeah, they can absolutely move into an enemy zone of control if they wanted to. They just can't do a close assault when they get there. And of course, you're going to take, op fire just like you would anyway. Nothing, the only thing weird about it is you're getting to move again. Other than that, everything's completely normal. So, what's an example of why that might be interesting? And if this is purely an example, if you say moved, I don't know, say you selected Ingersleben, And you could go ahead and advance, and yeah, you'll probably get shot at, and maybe even get somebody disordered, maybe get somebody shaken, whatever. Rally phase comes up, he can attempt to rally. The point is you could actually get one more move and get that much closer to the enemy before, and
then what you could do is when you activate him next turn, they could get a fire off before they move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So that would be an example of how that might be interesting. And you can see that this, of course, is also where the MG42 rule comes in. Because if we were counting individual shots, then these artillery would have already fired a lot of shots by now and would probably be with a substantial decrement to their die roll every time they're now firing because they've already had a full turn of firing. Obviously, that doesn't help you here. But anyway, that is one of the things that we might select to do. It's not a bad idea. The other thing that I was likely to do was just to move Krakow, just to get him out of the way so the Grenadiers can keep coming forward. But I mean, no big deal. If you think there's interest in going ahead and pressing the attack, then I can move on forward, get shot at a bit, but put the enemy in a real risk that you get the first activation next turn.
Yeah. What's the king say?
He fell off his horse earlier, remember?
The king is lapsed. He cannot begin to say. I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, you're going to get shot at anyway. So, but if you can just magically be 200 yards farther forward, that seems pretty appealing. Now, let's be clear. You're really not going to be 200 yards farther forward necessarily, because you'd have to rapid march most of those guys to get them adjacent to the enemy, because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm miscounting there. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. So never mind. Scratch what I just said. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine idea. And then, we'll just hustle up the other guys as fast as we can to, keep from watching you just wither on the vine.
All right, so
we wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah. All right, so I got to roll one die and
6 or less.
So you want to. So there they go. So they passed.
All right.
All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we go here first.
Okay, so I've got basically all the artillery can fire at you because it's 2 hexes worth of stuff that's moving, correct?
Yeah, see, this is so funny. It's like, just, you wouldn't think that just making a unit 2 hexes wide would complicate things.
Yeah.
And yet, it does certainly make you go, wait, what's the rule for that?
Okay, so that's...
Entire units are targets, not the portions distributed between hexes.
So I've got 28 plus 6, that's going to be 34. So that's going to be 3-to-1 odds, and you've got 8 increments. Although it's so how do we do it? Because it's split between hexes, right?
Yeah,
so there's not going to be a bonus. So it's just a 3-to-1 odds. No pluses, no minuses. Okay, here we go. 34 at 3-to-1. Well, that's good enough for a hit.
Where are you? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how you're calculating.
So I've got 2 increments of 6-pounders here, and I got 2 increments of 6-pounders here, and I got 2 increments of howitzers here in these 2 hexes. Right? And you're moving I've got line of sight from there. I got line of sight from there.
Yeah. Line of sights, I'm not a problem. I just was the calculation.
Right. So 4 times 7 is 28.
Right.
Plus 6 is
Right.
34.
34. Right.
Yeah.
So 3 to 1. Right.
Yep. So it's
All right.
a hit, a disordered check, and a morale check.
Okay.
Not disordered and not on a morale.
Okay.
So what's next?
That was 1.
Yep.
Well, the good news is that boy, he blocks a whole lot of space. He's taken a whole lot of shots in the process, but he blocks a whole lot of lines.
I'm debating whether I should go this way though or this way.
No, I understand. It's not immediately obvious which is the right thing to do.
Well, you couldn't go here. You wouldn't have enough movement points. Because he went from here to here and then going there, up a slope, plus going into an enemy Zoc.
Well, he'd have to rapid march.
Oh, you can do rapid march during the free move?
Sure you can.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a movement segment. Nothing weird about it, except you're getting to do an extra move. That's all.
Okay.
Otherwise, all the rules are the same.
All right.
Okay.
So you got another shot.
Yep, I do. So now it's going to be...
Call it 2 hex range.
Right, so we're
Instead
looking
of
at
40.
28, but this time it's plus 12. So it's going to be 40. So it's going to be a 4 to 1 shot now. So here, let's see what we get. 73 at 4 to 1. That's going to be 3 hits and a disorder check.
So who got that? Or is that because the
So-
howitzer?
So you're here, right? In these 2 hexes. So these 2 hexes or these 2 increments can fire at you. These 2 increments can fire, and these 2 can. The howitzers at this range are times 6.
That's what I was
So
asking.
that's
That
why-
was the key. That was the key. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That wasn't a very good idea.
no, not great.
Now, did you
so-
include the infantry or?
So now he's going to take 3 hits, so he'll be up to 5 hits on
5.
him. And
Which
then
means
gotta
he's
make a
now gonna
disorder
be-
check, but he doesn't have to make a
Which
morale check
means-
because it wasn't an even roll, right?
He now collapses into 1 hex because he's not big enough to be in 2 hexes anymore.
Eric, you got 2 rounds of shots at him.
Yeah, because artillery has opportunity fire out to 3 hexes, while the
right.
infantry only have the fire as they move from the 2nd hex to the hex.
To the adjacent
So
hex. Yeah.
the next thing we'll do is we'll then roll for the infantry fire and see what happens to this guy then. So as he moves from, as he was moving from there to there, he's going to catch fire
Right.
from this hex, and this hex, all that infantry. Oh, actually, and this hex too, right?
No.
So, because he was in 2 hexes here, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
so as they
yes.
move there, so I'd have
Right.
4 plus 6, that's 10, plus another 4, that's going to be 14.
I actually got a roll for first, right?
Yeah, we'll roll for your disorder. And they're not disordered. Okay, so then I got 14 times
I don't
2
think
for
you
my
have
fusers.
14.
Well, why wouldn't I? Because he was
Well, but
he was in
because
these 2
you've got-
hexes.
you've got 4 hexes that can shoot. And
Yep.
of those 4 hexes, 6 of the increments that can fire from them already have, because the artillery fired. You can only have 4 strength points
Oh,
fire
okay.
from a hex
Sorry,
at a time.
I'm once again I'm used to Labatai where the infantry in line can have up to 4 increments. So that's going to be 2 plus 2, so that's going to be 4. And then
Right.
here we've got we have 6, so we would have 10. instead of 14.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
so 10 times 2 is going to be 20.
2 to 1.
So it's going to be 2 to 1. Here we go.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so you got.
What was the problem?
So
You got two. You got 2 there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got 2 here, and I got 6 here. So that adds up to 10.
Right. Right. Another way of thinking about it is 4 hexes can fire 16 total strength points. The artillery was 6 of it. So there's only 10 left. And as it happens, he has enough units there to fill up all 10 of those with the infantry that's remaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the result is a D for you, so you need to make a disorder check. And you pass. Okay, so that's it for him.
All right.
Who's next?
Who's next? Let's see. Who's next? Who's next? What's the best advantage here?
See, the king got everybody all excited based off of Eric's poor shooting. That they're like, "Oh yeah, send in more.
Yeah,
it's
we
easy."
can do it. We can do it.
Oh, wait a minute, they're actually aiming.
Well, these guys actually took their marksmanship practice. The guys on the other side of the line, not so much.
Yeah. All right. So there.
Okay, so as he moves from there to there,
Right.
the 2 guns
guns.
here and the
Right.
howitzer there, or half the howitzer can fire. So that's going to be 14 plus.
So it's going to be 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1.5 to 1, and
Plus 10.
Plus 10. Here we go. So that's
Oh.
going to be 102.
Oh.
So that's going to be
That's
2
much. That's
hits.
3. 3.
Oh, is it?
Oh, sorry. It is 2. My bad.
So it's 2 dead, a disorder, and a morale check with a plus 10.
Disorder's good.
And the morale check, unless he's a 25.
Not very good.
Well, and then you got the morale thing too for the. So you got a -7, but a +7.
Right. And then you get the plus 10. So what's the Fusiliers?
What's their morale, David?
Yeah.
28. So they're going to be shaken.
They shake.
Shake and bake.
How do you kill leaders?
2 ways. One is special results, so you can have it happen in fire combat with a special result only. If a leader is with a stack and the stack is eliminated, the leader is too. So, excuse me, let me be clear. In close combat.
Mm-hmm.
So, fire combat, it's actually really quite hard to get a leader.
Yeah.
Close combat is usually where leaders get whacked in this game system.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do I keep going?
Well, that's a great question. That is a great question. Obviously, the one thing it would get you if he kept going is that he'd shade the next guy who wants to come up.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. We'll go.
You're
Okay.
committed.
So here then we've got 14 plus 6, so we've got 20. So it's going to be a 2 to 1.
I'm sorry, what's 14 plus 6?
So this is 14 plus 6.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. 20.
92.
Another 92.
So that's going to be 2 hits, a disorder check, and a morale check with a plus 10.
See, this is what I was expecting to happen the first time.
I do have one question about this artillery unit back when it collapsed into the single space.
Yeah.
Would it not have any other like disorder or anything like that because it was on the losing end of that?
That's a fair question. I'm not aware that it does, but I'll take a look. Let's take a look.
I mean,
No, I hear you. I just don't know the answer.
Yeah, they're on a failing morale check and routed.
The infantry did.
I know.
Yeah.
But my thought was that there would probably be some type of
okay, let's take a look.
Detrimental effect to that artillery because
No, I think
they're just excited and happy to be alive. That's all.
I'm looking.
The king probably sent them a communication that said, "We'll remember you in drinking songs."
There you go. I like that, Perry.
Because basically half of them routed, but
No, you're right. I'm actually a little bit uncomfortable as to whether we played that one correctly. I'm just struggling looking for exactly where it goes.
So the artillery just condensed because the infantry ran away?
Yes, but
half the artillery
the rule
where they routed.
The rule that I read talked about infantry moving away. It suddenly occurs to me that maybe we should have handled this differently given that they'd routed away. And so I am looking here and I am seeing, where is it? Defender makes morale check, the attacker wins, or at least one passes, a stack that fails. Come on, where is it? A rout result requires all affected units to automatically adopt a rout formation and rout retreat if the routed attacker's hex contained artillery or unactivated units. Those must make a morale check. E, defending artillery that would rout is eliminated instead. Okay, I think we may have played that one wrong, my bad. I'm just double checking. Defender uses the top non-artillery unit in a mixed infantry artillery stack. So that means that we did play it wrong, and that's my fault. They should have been vaporized.
So, but where was it that you had the thing where they then were placed in one of the other hexes? Where was that?
Right. And so what that was, and again, my fault, the rule I read talked about if you've got a multi-hex infantry unit and artillery stacked with it, and the infantry moves away. So now the artillery is no longer in a hex with a multi-hex infantry unit. Well, now the artillery has to be in one hex or the other.
Right. So we didn't get a rout result. So we routed, but we did not get a rout result. We didn't get an R on the chart.
That is
so
the
14
result of failing. Where you go?
Yeah.
Where you got?
So we're looking at morale check result. That's what happened. It was an M result. So it wasn't a rout result. It was an M result.
I'm not sure that I'm going to buy that, but okay, we'll take a look.
Well, it's very clear because it talks about a disorder result, it talks about an M result, and it talks about a rout result. And those are all results that you have on the chart where you have an M, a D, or an R.
Each stack makes an individual morale check. Some stacks may fail and rout while others remain in place. Defender uses the top non-artillery unit in a mixed infantry artillery stack. Okay.
Well, so when I'm reading like 14.6, if the routed attacker hex contains artillery and/or unactivated units, the units must make it sounds like they have to make an additional morale E check.
Yeah, but that's
the
attacker's
right.
That's the attacker's hex,
Yeah.
though. That's not pertinent to this particularly. So let's see. If no defenders pass, the attacker wins. If at least one defender passes, the combat is refought by each side, re-rolling the dice and using the same modifiers, except for those modifiers that don't apply to a second and subsequent round of combat. A stack that fails its morale check loses 1 strength point and routs regardless of its current morale state. That is to say, a unit in good morale goes directly to rout without being shaken first. So that's 14.4C.
Yep.
A stack that fails its current morale check, and that would be the case here, because the defender uses the top non-artillery unit in a mixed infantry artillery stack, which is what you did. Right. So it's the stack that fails its morale check. So all of them go directly to rout, except that artillery can't rout. It just disappears.
So the infantry routes, right?
The stack routes. Because the infantry is the one that's rolling for the stack.
Right.
And it routes. And when it routes, of course, it loses a strength point and runs. But the rout result is artillery that would rout are eliminated instead. Because there is no construct of artillery routing.
No, I totally get that. So where was it that you had the language that you read where it goes into one of the two hexes?
Right. Let me find you that one, and it'll be more clear why it is the way it is. Okay, that is going to be it's going to be 10.4E. It's going to be on page 16. If the infantry in a multi-hex line hook formation containing unlimbered artillery leaves the hex, either by movement, contraction, losses, etc., the unlimbered artillery is placed in either of the multi-hex formation's original hexes. So if, for example, you'd simply moved away, well, then you just have to decide where the artillery goes. If you contracted because you consciously decided that you wanted to be in one hex instead of two hexes, the artillery could either be in the hex you contracted into, or it could be in the other hex, either way, but it's got to be in one or the other now. Or losses. If you'd taken so many losses that you were forced to contract, like David's unit was just now, then again, same thing. You're now in one hex. The artillery has to figure out where they're going, here or there, but they can't be in both anymore. That doesn't speak to routing. Shame on me. I should have called this.
Well, you'll know better next time.
My mistake. I sure will. Absolutely. Yeah. This is, not the first time I've made a rules mistake. It's the first time tonight.
Okay, so the result was a 92.
Well, so the problem is what do we do about the thing that happened? That's the problem. Right?
Those artillery aren't even there.
That would be one interpretation, is that they should have routed and disappeared. Yes. That is
right. But the thing is, I already moved units up to support them and everything else.
You moved units up to support them, and you've already fired them several times, and I don't really know how we correct the problem at this point, because
David just attacks them and I roll terribly again and he takes them out. So
I mean, kind of a middle ground we could take is just knock one strength point off of it and assume that half of them routed and the other half didn't.
Okay, I'm game for that. That sounds fair.
Why not? Okay. That was a 92
plus that, so it's 1, 7 plus whatever the house is 6.
7 and 6. It's 13 as 1-1. 1-1, no, because you're not too big now. So 1-1, it would be a 92 at 1-1. So that's going to be another 1, a D, and an M. And
Okay.
I think
Probably
they just
failed
routed.
the morale.
Yep.
I think they just routed because I think that's actually
You're already
worse than you rolled
shaken.
last.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Not great. To be honest with you, this is what I expected would happen the last time, if it weren't for his lousy die rolling that he's now making up for.
So now, do I lose another? No,
that's only in close
Lost
combat,
enough.
right?
Right. Yeah. No, this is just turn and run. And I would suppose going to 3603 is probably the best thing to do to stay out of everybody's way.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking. In fact.
Yep. All right. And then you got 2 more units.
All right, so I've got 7 plus 3 for this, so that's going to be 10.
10.
1-1. 57 and 1-1.
That's going to be enough for a
disorder check.
Disorder check. Okay.
Oops.
Oh, that
Whoa.
was a trick.
What in the world just happened?
All right, and
Okay,
so then
so he
from
just moved
here
there.
to there, so that's going to be 7 plus 6, so it's going to be 13.
1-1.
1-1. 79.
That's
and
going to be a
1-1.
hit and a disorder check, but no morale check.
Now, before you move this guy, I still get my infantry fire as he moves from here to here. Right?
Fair. Yeah.
So I
that's
will
gonna
have
be
3 increments
1, 2,
there
3,
and 3
4,
increments, so
5.
I'll have 6. So
6.
Yeah.
12. 1-1.
Yep. And that's a miss.
Back to form.
Yep.
There you go. That's 1, 2,
3, 4.
3, 4.
All right, and I'll get a
And
shot.
the skirmishers get to shoot.
And they'll get to
As-
shoot too.
Okay, you only can fire 2 strength points from the disordered hex.
Right.
And then,
So
of course,
I'll
there is only
have
1
3, so
strength
it's gonna
point.
It's going to be
What?
6.
1 to
6
2.
to 10. Yep.
Yep, 1 to 2. All right.
79.
That's going to be enough for a disorder check. No, it's not.
At 1 to 2.
1 to 2, 79 just
Missed it.
misses. Okay. Wow. Well, that's kind of the it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, wasn't it?
And
So
if we had done
Charles-
the things correctly before, then it could have been, wouldn't have
Yeah.
been bad,
It would have been
but,
yeah.
painful, but maybe not as painful.
Yeah, it would have definitely been less painful, but still painful. But anyway, my apologies. I guess we'll just have to carry on from there.
There you go. I learned my lesson with Nadaj D. You learned your lesson here with, I guess, how the guns are eliminated. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's an awful lot of rules, and I think it's astonishing that I know as many as I do. But and you know what? Oh, you know what the problem is? I'm not drinking this evening.
Oh, that would do it.
That was it. My profound apologies. Actually, the truth of the matter is, I don't do that much close combat in 2-hex lines. So I've really been struggling today with the rules all the way down because it's just a ton of 2-hex lines here, and all of a sudden it's like, how does that work again? So anyway, I'm disappointed, but that's how baseball goes.
Okay, well.
All right. Well,
I think we should save it at this point.
Punt.
We've been at it for a while.
Yeah, we should punt for now. And I have got a busy week. Teaching a class, which is probably why I'm not drinking tonight, because I know I will be drinking all week.
All right, and then next weekend I am in beautiful Portland for my brother's birthday. So I will not be available to play.
Okay.
And while we
next weekend.
Yeah, while you guys were doing your move, I was getting text messages. One of my coaches cannot teach tomorrow night, so I have to cover classes tomorrow, so I will not be able to play at Moscow, but that's just as well. The French need to do their setup, so we'll send you guys the file, and then you guys can set up tomorrow night, and then we will play in 2 weeks. So,
great, sounds good.
All right, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks' time.
All right, be well, everybody.
All right, y'all take care.
Thank you.
Perry, did you have any questions or comments?
No, this is a great learning session. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and this is kind of what I did with David and Michael were playing Chotuzits, and it was the first time that David was playing Battles of the Age of Reason. And every now and again, every couple of weeks, I would jump in on Discord and then look at what they're doing on Vassal, and they would be moving stuff around. I'm like, well, why are you doing this? Or how's this working? And I kind of see how it was working. And then they played, I think, Monmouth. And then after that, I kind of had a sense of, okay, I kind of get a general idea how this works.
Well, you participated in Monmouth. So. Oh,
no, I didn't.
No,
it was
Brandywine.
Yep.
Brandywine. Yep.
Yeah.
So
it was a good way for me to. So you're kind of
Brandywine, Prague. This is my 5th bar game. Wow.
Yeah. So this is a great way for you guys to kind of see how it works, because Michael is very good, very expert, and then a lot of times it's just, okay, let's see how it works, and the rules are very well written. So for the most part, if you find the right rule, you'll kind of know what to do as far as how to go through. But it is very detailed, and so it can be very intimidating. So
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, we have our friend William Arends is saying, I think his note here, now that I have notebooks on the premier 5th edition rules as well as a set of bar rules for the Battle of Monmouth, I feel I'm increasing my knowledge by 1% per episode.
Wow.
1% per episode. Okay. All right.
That's
you're doing pretty well.
Good.
There's a lot of episodes out there, so you should be.
There are. That's true.
Yeah.
So, by the way, gentlemen, if I could get one of the two of you to send me the save file, because for some reason, every time I try to save, it crashes the Vassal module. And so I never end up with the actual save file.
Wow. Is that something to do with your laptop, maybe, or?
I don't really know. It's weird. He has
the version of Vassal he has, because he's.
I've got 3.7.10 is what I'm running right this minute.
Oh,
I don't know what.
I've got 3.7.5. I thought that was the most.
No, actually,
I think it's
there's
been
even
updated.
one. There's another one, 12, I believe.
I think there is. I think
really?
there is. So Yeah,
Yeah, because
there
I
is.
just
So
updated Vassal like a couple of months ago. I'm like, what are these people
yeah,
doing?
well, I think with 3.7 they made a lot of changes, and so I think all these little bitty increments are like tidying up corners that got missed when they went from 3.6 to 3.7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
So you might grab 12 out there, Michael. And
yeah, I probably should do that while I'm thinking about it, because it's not really very much fun to have it just puke and die on me.
Yeah, because the version I have isn't having any problems, but it's the older
Yeah.
version.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know. I mean, I don't usually have this problem. I don't think I was having this problem earlier when we were playing.
right.
So it feels like something has happened fairly recently. And yeah, maybe it's 3.7.10. Maybe, I don't know. Don't be in a rush to upgrade, Eric.
Yeah. Why don't you jump out and grab 12 right now? Get into. I'll keep this open. Come back in. See if you can.
Oh,
save
that's a very nice idea. Yeah. Okay. Let me, first of all, I got to actually force quit it and kill it just to make it go away. And then I need to, do I have any other games in progress? No. All right, well then I'm going to go ahead and quit Vassal because I won't be able to upgrade it without. All right, and then we're going to go download Vassal 3.7.12. Whoop. Whoop. Of course, we've got the silliness because I will then try to start the application and the Mac OS will complain that I don't recognize the publisher, and then I got to go tell the security system that it's really okay.
Are you
Do
playing
it.
on a Mac?
I've had Macs since forever. I bought my first Mac in 1990 when I went to graduate school. And that's